Thank you again for watching another video. So in this one, I'm going to do something a little bit different. Historically, my videos have all been focused on, personal taxes, business taxes, where to put your money, different savings accounts, investments. And I thought in this one, why don't we go through a company that just went public? And I'm talking about Reddit. So they just went public today on the exchange. And before a company goes public, they file a form with the SEC called a S1. So in this video, I'm going to go through Reddit's S1. I'm going to highlight some of the key factors that's noted in this S1. The S1's filed in advance of them going public, so it gives potential investors an opportunity to kind of review and learn about the company behind what you just see online. More about their finances, potential risks within the company going in the future. And it's very important, all these, whether you're investing in Apple stock, right, an existing company that's already, a public company. There's a lot of these forms that these companies have to file every year, and it has a lot of financial information. There's a lot of good insight, and you can learn whether, their trajectory of where the company is headed. So in this video, I'm going to go through an S1. So whenever you hear about a company going public in the future, this S1 form is public. It's open to everyone, and you'll be able to kind of review it and see what their financials look like, what the risks are, and anything else you want to know about the company. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and hope you enjoy. Thank you. All right, so what I've done here is, if you have ChatGPT, and I mentioned this toward the end of the video following this one, is take the S1, when you Google Reddit S1, you're going to go to the website, export that to a PDF, and then if you have ChatGPT, upload that to ChatGPT. So now ChatGPT has the whole document. It's like 300 pages. And what you can do is ask ChatGPT different questions. And you'll hear me in this latter part of the video where I'm kind of just reading directly from ChatGPT, and I ask it different questions on, for example, read the PDF, let me know the top 5 risk areas. So it's going to read the S1, and it's going to talk about the 5 risk areas of the Reddit going public. Is the company profitable? Here's another question. I'm just asking this to kind of show you in demonstration. Reddit has a history of net losses and may not be able to achieve or maintain profitability in the future, right? That's a big risk. Does Reddit have a strong balance sheet? I asked that question. It says the document does not provide specific details regarding Reddit's balance sheet, which is not correct, because if you look at the S1, there is a balance sheet in there. So I keep on asking it different questions. And then I said, financial trends for Reddit. And I mentioned this in my video after this one here, revenue growth for Reddit. What does that kind of look like and stuff. So anyways, this is a good way to, when you're kind of reading financial statements and you're thinking about investing in companies, think about doing this, where you just export just a long document, upload it to ChatGPT. ChatGPT has all the data. You just ask it questions. So I'm going to get into the S1. I'm going to go through a couple pages here. I'm going to, read off directly what ChatGPT kind of told me here. But I just want to make sure that you understand what an S1 is, where to kind of focus your review. And the key is just looking at these financial statements, right? Because you'll be able to see where the company's spending their money. Has it been profitable? What are the key risk areas that it notes in its S1? So it's pretty interesting. It's just a long read, and that's why kind of using a ChatGPT may not be a bad idea. All right, so as a follow-up to the intro here is Reddit's S1. And if you do a search, if you go to the SEC or Securities and Exchange Commission website, you'll be able to find this, or do a search for Reddit's S1. And what this document is every company that plans to go public, they have to put a, summary together of their financials, risk factors, management, their team, everything. And then they kind of release this to the public. The public has time to kind of review it, as well as potential investors. And then once it gets approved to go public, then it's, then you can kind of buy and sell stock. But what this document shows you is a lot of interesting things of what's the company has been going through for the past several years since it started. Now, it's been, a company for, over 10 years here. But there's a lot of interesting things that you can do. What I did is I converted this document. So if you go to the website, I converted it to a PDF so we can kind of do different searches. But, I think the first thing is the risk factors, right? So if you type in risk, you'll see here risk factors start on page 22. And what it does is it kind of goes through all the different risk factors. So like one risk factor is user growth and engagement, right? Reddit's future success depends on its ability to attract and retain users. Any failure to increase or maintain user engagement could harm the business. Okay. And that's with any of these, type of, websites. Another risk factor is content contribution and value. If users do not continue to contribute valuable content, or if such contributions decline, Reddit may experience a decrease in user engagement, affecting its attractiveness to advertisers. Brand and reputation. Maintaining and enhancing Reddit's brand and reputation are critical. Any failure to do so could impair its ability to expand its user and advertising growth. So these are all, different types of risk factors that companies are obligated to kind of put in their S1 here. And then, some other, potential risk factors are, market volatility, right? Interest in retail and other investors, individual could lead to increased volatility in the market price of Reddit stock. And there was talks yesterday in the Wall Street Journal about how some of the contributors to Reddit aren't even going to buy the stock because they don't feel like it's, got, a future ahead of itself, while others think that it's, the best thing and they're going to buy a bunch of stock. International expansion challenges. That's another kind of risk factor, right? So Reddit's future growth may depend on its expansion outside the US. This expansion comes with increased business and economic risks. Reliance on advertising revenue. Substantially all of Reddit's revenue comes from advertising. A loss of advertisers or a decrease in advertising spending could adversely affect the business. So if you pull this up, and this whole document, when I converted it to a PDF, is, over 290 pages. So it's a very long document. I'm not going to go through here in detail, but the first part of this, you can see we're still in the risk section. The first 50 pages or so all talk about risks. Next, I want to kind of get into the financial statements, right? And, its ability to kind of generate cash. And let's see here. So here's some of the numbers. So here's its ending cash balance, and these are in thousands. Okay. So this is how much cash it has. Okay. Then we're going to start looking at, what I want to get to is the profit and loss statement. So here's revenue. Okay. So here is for 2023. So they had about $804,000, or actually $804 million of revenue. Last year in 2022, or, last year was 2023. So they had $666 million of revenue. So revenue is increasing, right? Then you kind of look at their net income or loss. So they had a huge loss, $158 million of loss, and that loss is decreasing, which is, a good sign. Revenue is increasing, losses are decreasing. So that's a good sign. Let's see here. So here's, there's different versions of their income statement too, and they try to kind of break it up a little bit. And this is where it kind of talks about the company. Here's some of the growth charts. So here's the different revenue. We've kind of talked about that. Here's some additional revenue. All right. So here's revenue by quarter. Okay. So if we look at like quarter one, so quarters end on March 31st, June 30th, September 30th, December 31st. So there's 4 quarters in a year. Here's the revenue, right? So close to $80 million of revenue in March of 2021 it increases and increases, it further increases. Then there's a dip, right? From December 31st, 2021 to March 31st of 2022. Then it slowly kind of increases. Then there's another dip here, right? So it's, you kind of look at these trends, it's like, the first quarter of every year, there's like a dip, then it increases, and now we're at, and then you add the 4 quarters, and that will get you to that $800 million of revenue. Then you kind of look at the losses per quarter. They had one profitable quarter here, December 31st, 2021. So you can see here, this is not so if it's in brackets, that means it's in a loss. So here we got some income, but every other quarter from first quarter of 2021 through fourth quarter of 2023, actually here, there's a profit here. They've been in a loss position. So, when you think about, investing in companies, and a lot of these startups, they're spending on R&D, right? Research and development. They're building out new features, right? So there's always going to be a lot of spend. So you can see here a breakdown of some of their major costs or research and development, right? So that's building out new features, for the website. Then you got sales and marketing, right? So this is like, ads, right? Them buying ads to get users to kind of sign up. And drawing awareness of the website. So you can see how much they're spending, $60 million per quarter. That's a lot of money on marketing spend. The question is how many users are they gaining, by spending that amount? Research and development, you can see how much they're spending, and that's just constantly increasing here. It's not a bad thing, but you can see that they're just spending a lot of money. And the question is what does their user growth kind of look like? So, here's some additional, financial statements. And then you can see quarterly trends, right? We talk about revenue, we talk about liquidity, cost of, operating expenses. So those are the type of things that you want to, take a look at when you're, investing in these companies. The cash flow position has been a challenge for them, without a doubt. Revenue growth, we talked about that. That's been increasing. Net losses, that's been decreasing. Gross margin has improved a little bit. Cash flow, the company's cash flow shows that it's using cash in its operations, with net cash used in operating activities reported at $94 million. So it's using a lot of cash. And then let's see here. What else can I show you? Again, I'm not going to go through the whole document here, but I just wanted to show you about the financials and kind of some things to consider when you're looking in whether to invest or not. And you think back to, you look at, maybe pull up the S1 for Amazon, right? Back in the 90s and see what that looked like versus where they're at right now. I'm sure there's, a lot of, different changes over time. So you just got to think about, what you're investing in. It's more than just the website. It's kind of like, all right, I know it's very popular. There's a lot of good content out there, but where are they going to start making their money? How are they going to make it? And will, advertisers pay for it? Are they going to start a subscription, kind of like what X has done, where they're charging, users X amount per month, and you get different features, right? So it's going to be interesting to see where this company goes from here. So here's a section right here: why advertisers come to Reddit. Reddit is a place where people, entities, public interest, businesses come together and engage in human-to-human conversations. Let's see here. Advertisers coming around for distinct benefits. So they're trying to promote why advertisers kind of come to Reddit, kind of promoting, hey, it's a good place for them to kind of spend their money. Another thing that the Wall Street Journal in their article talked about yesterday was Reddit's ability to kind of sell its data to Google for AI purposes. So that's going to be interesting play. And again, that's revenue to Reddit if they're able to kind of do that. And here it is. We see it talk about data licensing, right? So given the value of Reddit's data in sentiment analysis, trend identifications, they believe that there could be emerging opportunity in data licensing, right? So releasing the data that they have, right? There's tons of content there that they were able to share. So long story short, I know it's a lot to read here. And, a trick is if you have ChatGPT, for example, is convert the website of the S1 to a PDF, like what I've done here, upload it to ChatGPT, and then you can ask ChatGPT questions about this document, right? It's almost 300 pages, and you can just ask it different questions. So hopefully this helps. Let me know if you have any other questions. Thanks.